Welcome back, my horde. So we're going over fan comments over the months that we've actually been here. I was going to do this. Well, I did this sooner with just me and Tammy, but it was right around the same time that the lockdown happened. And small channel gets boned, especially when so many other channels just basically moved to doing Skype calls or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as easy because, how the heck did I record that originally? It wasn't going to be easy. And then, of course, because we already talk over ourselves already, it would have been, a nightmare. And that's what I thought about that. Well, what was that? I didn't hear a word of that.
Might have to look into Discord if it ever happens again.
Well,
So,
yeah, I don't know.
but then again, we do that, I'd probably end up muting myself and forgetting I'm muted. We do that often.
Well, it's one of the reasons that when we first were talking about maybe doing role-playing on that, I'm like, no, this is a terrible idea. Because, yesterday when we were actually role-playing, you, Chris, I'm just pointing at the man. You and your wife were talking, and I was talking to Jay, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But then I went and actually asked you, so, Chris, what are you going to be doing? And because you didn't hear me, because you were still talking to your wife, I couldn't tell that you were talking to your wife if I was watching, we were talking on Skype. I would have no clue. I would think you were just ignoring me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's something like that. It's definitely where you need camera or something like that, just so you can have an idea as to what's going on.
And the reason we don't do cameras on this podcast is primarily because of 3 reasons. 1, we record these in batches. So because we record them in batches, we're going to be wearing the same clothes back to back to back. 2, we don't have really the best video quality faces.
Translation, I'm ugly as fuck and I know it.
It wasn't just nagging on you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I'm well aware of that. I just wasn't going to say it.
And the other one is just the fact that the setup doesn't really accommodate having us all in frame.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the first thing I was going to go over is we had gone over favorite TV shows.
Okay.
Also, for the record, I can't remember who was in what.
Okay.
So I don't know which one you guys were a part of and which ones you're not. So just bear this in mind.
Shows I think we were all a part of.
Yeah, I think so too.
So one of the fans had brought up Andromeda.
Yeah, that was a good show.
I've watched several episodes of it and everything else. I just couldn't really get fully into it.
I got the first 2
it,
seasons
it,
of it.
It was a good premise and everything else. I guess it just I had a show that I was more interested in that was in the same time slot. So
yeah, like I said, I've got the first season or 2 of it.
Never even watched it. So, Painkiller Jane.
I can't really remember that much. It was a bit of a low quality show, but it wasn't bad.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I know who posted that comment.
Well, I'm pretty sure you know who posted most of these comments.
Yep.
Dollhouse.
That was a good show. That was Joss Whedon. After Buffy and Angel.
Yeah, I don't hate Joss Whedon. He was actually, Buffy was pretty good. Angel was okay. But,
Firefly. Firefly was good.
Yeah, which is actually on the list. But, I didn't really, hunt his stuff down.
I didn't either. When I watched it, it's just something I had found and watched. It was 2 seasons. It was pretty good.
Dark Angel.
Not one I've actually watched a lot of.
Me either, but my brother Chris was a huge fan of it.
Okay.
I actually watched the crap out of that, and that's actually the TV's... I don't know if I actually bring it up in that podcast, that it's the TV show where Lita, who was a WWE wrestler, broke her neck.
Yeah, you brought it up.
She was actually doing a Hurricane Rana to the main one of the main characters in the show, and when she lands completely wrong, breaks her neck, and is out of wrestling permanently.
Well, yeah, once you break your neck once.
No. No. There's actually a guy who's broke his neck at least twice. I know once he's broke his neck during wrestling. Pretty sure he broke his neck another time. Or at least maybe just fractured it.
Who are we talking about?
Kurt Angle?
Oh. Yeah, he broke his neck and won a gold medal.
Yeah, in wrestling.
As an Olympic gold, he's an Olympic gold medal winner, and he won it with a broken freaking neck.
He says it that way too. The other one, Brock Lesnar broke his neck. I'm pretty sure.
Austin.
Yeah. Well, Austin, because of his broken neck, slowly phased out.
Yeah.
His career was cut short because of it. Edge, which also brought his career closer to the end.
But he's back now.
For now. I'm hoping he stays around because it's good that they're, he was a good wrestler.
Anyway,
Firefly, which...
I've
pretty good.
seen the movie Serenity.
Yeah.
I've just never really.
I never knew that Firefly existed until after the movie Serenity came out.
A lot of people, that was what happened, and that's actually what kind of sucked for Firefly.
Yeah.
Is that Firefly happened, no one knew Firefly existed, or at least a small group did. He went, well, I have the ability to make a movie out of it. I'll make a movie and basically finish up my idea. Made the movie, finished his idea. The movie did really well. Everyone watched the TV series. Went, when's season 2 happening? He's like, it got canceled, you guys.
Yeah.
It was one of those that was probably just the wrong time slot and stuff that was grabbing people's
attention. Wrong time slot, and I don't think it was advertised as well as it could have been.
No, because I remember hearing when it was just TV show before the movie or anything else, I guess. I remember hearing about it once or twice, but that was like late night TV when I probably shouldn't have been up.
Yeah, no, out of all these that the fans had commented, that's the one I would actually suggest to people. The last one is Power Rangers. Which
one?
I'm pretty sure it's the original, because when you say Power Rangers, theoretically you do mean the original series.
Someone tells me they're watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume they mean Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is the first 3 seasons.
Yes.
And then, if they're watching one of the other Power Ranger series, they're going to say, oh, I'm watching Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers Time Force, Power Rangers this, Power Rangers that.
There's a Time Force?
Oh, yeah.
And
is there something they haven't touched on yet?
I'm sure.
But, and then if you're actually watching, the entire thing, I'm watching all the Power Ranger stuff.
Yep.
So, I would just...
The other thing is that after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I watched the movies, enjoyed the movies, didn't give 2 shits to watch any of the series.
Well, it was, the first movie wasn't really part of the series. Excuse me. It was just kind of a standalone.
Did you just hit puberty?
Yes, I did. It's like an alternate way to go into, season 2 or whatever it was when they got their ninja abilities. But then the second movie, Power Rangers Turbo, led straight into the TV series, Turbo.
Yeah, I watched Turbo.
And that's fine.
So, I actually added a couple things. I think I brought it up in that thing, but again, talking to you guys. Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon was a good show.
Definitely
recommend watching it.
Fire it to me in a text, because that way I can look it up when I get home.
Okay.
It's on, all 3 of these are on Netflix.
Not that you have it.
Just letting you know. For anyone that's paying attention, all 3 of these are on Netflix. Ragnarok.
Haven't watched it.
It's the only problem I had with Ragnarok is it was done in Swedish, or I think, or Norwegian. It was done in a different language, and they dub it.
Yeah. So
the lips are a little off.
Yeah, that's what drove me nuts about the Full Metal Alchemist and the Bleach is just the desync there just was horrible enough.
However, despite the desync of their lips, the actual gestures and what's happening, I think whoever translated it pretty well.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not knocking that. It's just the desync that was throwing me off.
I was going to say, the reason I say that is because me and Tammy used to watch a anime called Samurai Champloo. And in that...
That one I've heard of.
Okay. In that anime, there's a character in there, and then they're talking about some stuff. And me and Tammy had subtitles on. Because the fact that we weren't really paying attention, I couldn't hear it. We were trying to be quiet, I think, or something like that. Anyway, the subtitles were on. So it was English speaking with English subtitles. And the subtitles weren't adding up to what the English was saying.
Yep.
So we realized that what was happening was that they were actually in Japanese. They were saying what they were saying in Japanese. But they were translating it slightly differently for English speaking.
Yep.
For example, there is another anime that I was watching where it's called Rise of the Shield Hero.
Keep needing to watch that one.
In that one, he calls her a whore. And in the Japanese, he calls her a slut.
Different connotations based off culture.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Two of the ones, because translation, we're on that topic at the moment. Two of the ones that stick out in my mind is Appleseed, the original Appleseed.
I have it.
Not the remake for the 3D animation version.
I don't know which one I have, to be honest. I have one of them. I've just never watched it.
And the reason that one sticks into mind is because if you watch it in Japanese with the English subtitles, it has one storyline. Still makes sense for what's going on the screen. It's fine. You watch it in English, where it's actual English speaking, no subtitles, has a completely different storyline. Still matches up with what's going on screen, which was actually rather entertaining. So you kind of got a two for the price of one there.
Yep.
And the other one was Hunter x Hunter. Just the
original
subtitling for that one was humorous because whoever was doing it had no clue about spelling at all.
So, going back to Ragnarok, it's actually a story about a boy, his brother, and his mother going back to their hometown after they've left a long time ago, and now they're coming back. And as they're coming back, the one boy starts learning he has powers that it were given to him. And he becomes Thor. And there's actually the town is being run by ice giants.
Okay.
It's actually, and they only have one season on Netflix. I'm waiting for the second season. I'm like, come on, make it a second season. It's so cool. The last one is The Witcher.
Good show.
That entire genre just never really interested me.
Well, The Witcher...
Sort of like the Witchblade, it's just that don't know why, it just none of it's caught my attention to in any way, shape, or form, really.
Witcher is pretty interesting because the concept is that he's a demon hunter that doesn't really hunt demons.
Depends on how you play the game.
Yeah, the only thing about the entire Witcher series that sticks into my mind is that damn song.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, the entire the whole thing about the game is the fact that he hunts down things. That's what Witcher does. But for some reason, he takes a more diplomatic approach to everything.
I think it's just the school that he was part of.
Could be.
Because there are different schools in the Witcher series.
I'm just saying, like, him as the character takes more of a diplomatic approach to things. And it's still pretty cool. Like, at one point, he has to fight a being, and all he has to do is just wait until sunrise. That's what he's going to do. Just wait until sunrise.
Yeah,
because
he has to make sure that she doesn't get back in her hiding hole.
What it is that she's been cursed. If she goes back into a coffin, he cannot open the coffin during the day. It's basically sealed. But if he can prevent her from entering the coffin, and, when the sun finally comes up, she'll turn back into a girl.
That wasn't really a diplomatic approach.
He could have just killed her.
No, he couldn't, because he was trying to save her.
That's the thing.
That's
all the other Witchers would have just killed her.
Yeah, well, that's what he was hired to do, is to try and save her.
But I'm trying to say, that's the thing. Is that he takes, it's not really, I guess, diplomatic or just
he
the better path.
Moral high ground.
Yeah. They also wrote down that their favorite film, Stardust.
Yes, that was actually, I rather enjoyed that one and watched quite a few times. I've actually got it myself.
We have it too.
It was a rather, I liked the film. It wasn't anything major, but it was still a good film.
Were you guys here during the 007 one? I don't know. You weren't. You weren't. You were. You weren't. Yeah. So, can you name to me, how many 007 characters can you name to me?
As in actors that played the characters?
No, like some characters. The characters' names.
007, Q, M, Dr. No, Man with Golden Gun, because I never really learned his actual name. Octopussy. You've got Odd Job.
Yep.
Jaws.
Yep. Now, out of all those ones, I guess you're thinking of them. If you have more, that's fine. Just remember, can you remember what they kind of look like?
Most of them, yeah.
Okay. Because that's I can't remember what Dr. No looks like. I can't remember what
Dr. No was Asian. He was probably about
I don't know what Octopussy looks like.
I'd say probably about 30-ish. He was also he was also one of the founders of Spectre, I think. Octopussy was, I believe, German, roughly around age 24.
Sure.
Was living in the U.S.
So that was what we were talking about at the time, was like the people, and what, if we can remember what they look like.
I was a Bond fan.
It's fine. The person that actually commented had brought up Baron Samedi.
Okay.
And Mayday.
I don't know.
Mayday? Can't remember. I remember her. I believe she was a African girl, but I could be wrong. That could have been the other one. You see how much I freaking remember of that. But Baron Samedi, I do remember him a little bit more.
Now I remember Bambi and Thumper.
Okay.
Another show that at least I thought was kind of decent was Sons of Anarchy.
Now I'm trying to remember who in the hell those two villains were. It's the same movie as with Bambi and Thumper. And it was just the two that, like, really right at the end, it was the Bomb Surprise, but it's just...
The skunk?
It was a duo.
Oh, dude, you lost me. I all I can remember of Bambi, the entire movie, is that...
No, I'm talking Bond.
What?
Yes. This is the one where there was a satellite put up in orbit. Its dish was covered in diamonds.
Moonraker.
Sure.
Yeah, Moonbreaker. But it was...
Breaker,
I'm trying to remember who in the hell the two...
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who in the hell the two minions were that were loading...
Dude, I have no clue, dude. I know Jaws is in that movie. That's about all I can tell you.
Isn't that like Jaws' like second movie?
I think so.
Anyway, so the next thing
the movie was Diamonds Are Forever.
Sure.
Anyway,
so that was the
the only Bond movie I know that takes place in space is Moonraker. If there's anything else, I have no clue.
There is other things that I have, but that's not really going to be important for on-screen talking. I don't know if I brought this up in something else, so I'm going to bring it up now again. One of the animes that I had thought about, which I had forgot to bring up in the original thing, was Death Note.
I thought you had brought it up, but...
I don't think I did, because I remember...
Maybe it's just because I listened to the other one.
Yeah, because I think I do bring up in the other one.
Yeah, I never really watched Death Note.
I couldn't get into Death Note, personally. It was an interesting concept, but...
It didn't interest me.
So, I'm going to go over one thing, and then I'm going to go over the other thing, because the one thing makes sense for me to go over. The other one, it's going to be a little bit longer of talking. So, the Alien reboot. The movies, the Alien reboot movies.
Okay.
Or better known as Prometheus.
Yes.
What is your guys' thoughts on those movies?
Meh.
Never seen it. The last...
Have you seen any of the Alien movies?
Last Alien movie Okay. The last straight Alien movie I've seen was the one where they had cloned Ripley and then they got that really weird...
Yeah, they started
human alien
Resurrection
hybrid. Resurrection.
Yeah, they would start going off the rails on that one.
The only other Alien
there were some
movies
good lines in that movie.
That's
about it.
The last two Alien movies that I remember watching that had the xenomorphs in them was the AVP and AVPR.
Yeah.
Oh, AVPR
That's-
was a nightmare, but
that's
at least in my personal opinion, I think AVP, the
It
first
was
one,
okay.
I did not like it that aliens were on Earth. I thought that was just a stupid thing that there's this Mayan temple or whatever the frick it was, temple where they just have aliens. Like that sounds the stupidest freaking thing in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ignore that part and move on with the rest of it, it's okay-ish until the end, where apparently a human is able to beat off these aliens better than the freaking predators can, which is an elite group of freaking fighters.
Well, I know that there have been, I guess, some novelizations of the Predator series, different characters, but there's at least one female character that ends up hunting with a pack of predators.
Well, again,
she becomes like one of them.
I don't mind. I don't mind the idea that she, becomes good. I just don't like the idea
that she's better than them.
Yeah, but equal with them, fine. Better than them,
I always
don't enjoy.
That the entire reason why the predator in the AVP fell and she was supposedly acting better than him is because he had a fucking chest burster in him that was trying to get out.
Yeah, but the problem was the fact that he also had a bunch of buddies that died. Like, the only two people that survived that entire movie is the two of them, and he has a chest burster. So he's already failed.
Yeah.
And not just that, but if he knew he had a chest burster, which he should have known, I don't know why he didn't just self-destruct himself.
Yeah, no, again, those are good points. So
I have no answer for that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Prometheus. I think my biggest problem with Prometheus, I don't know if I said it in the other video, so I'm going to say it here, is it should be called Aliens Prometheus. The fact that they hid this fact that it was aliens from us the entire video until the end was just like, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was an aliens movie before I walked in because I had read reviews where it talks about it. I'm like, why did you not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I also didn't like the idea that we've met aliens before Aliens, the first movie, and then we somehow lost that knowledge.
Yeah.
And then just went, oh, look! Ickies!
Yeah, no,
I didn't really care for them, to be honest.
I've taken the AVP and the latest Predator movie.
Which one?
The one where the Predator was after the kid and then they got that.
I didn't even watch that at all.
I've taken those.
I started to watch it. I haven't gotten through it.
Because I actually saw the spear that was in the end of AVP that was in the actual Hunter the Predator movie. I took those as a separate timeline versus the original Aliens movies.
So one other thing about Predators before we move on. There's actually a PlayStation 4 and PC game that's called Predator, which is
Hunting
actually Hunting Grounds. Yeah, it's called Predators Hunting Grounds. It's actually a game that if it was actually on the Xbox, I would probably try playing. It's a 4v1 where the 1 is the Predator. The 4 are Marines who have no idea that quotations, no idea that the Predator is there. They're actually on a job to go deal with a drug cartel. And as you're doing your mission of that, the Predator is actually stalking you. And then he attacks you. And you can either win as a human, you can win one of 3 ways. You can complete all of your objectives for the cartel stuff, get onto a helicopter, and get away. You can kill the Predator, prevent him from blowing himself up, protect his body, helicopter comes, grabs the body, you fly away. Or, you kill the Predator, he blows himself up, you make sure you're not in the blast radius, and you win. The Predator, he can only win one way.
Kill everybody else.
Yeah. And it's super hard for the Predator. Because when you're standing there, even as your glimmer, they can kind of still see you. And because you still make your chittery noises, as soon as they hear your chittery noises, they actually start looking around.
Yeah, no,
I
that
watched...
actually reminds me of an old computer game that I used to play in high school. We had it installed on the library computers, not that we were supposed to have done it. But it was, you could play either as the Space Marines, a Predator, or a Xeno.
Yep.
And they each all had their own different abilities. The Predators had the cloaking primarily, the humans had the motion trackers, and the Xenos had the wall walk ability.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was just a multiplayer kill zone, but it was fun. It's actually it's actually a PvP that I actually enjoyed.
This one I think it's trying to go down like the similar premises of things, but the problem with it is just the fact that like the Predator does get kind of boned with it. He doesn't output nearly as much damage as he needs to, and everything he does gives him away. For example, when he's actually using any of his guns, they have the red dots. And it directly shows you where he is. Also, when he glimmers, like in his cloak, he's still kind of seeable. So he does have a distinct disadvantage. Also, I was watching a group play it. I'm going to tell you, it's Achievement Hunter. And they're not the greatest at games, and even the guy who's actually even though they're all not good at games, just every single time they were just outpacing the Predator dramatically. Like at one point they were playing, and one of the guys who's actually good at the game, just good at first-person shooters, he shot the Predator in the head and knocked off its mask. And a Predator without its mask, it's relatively useless. He couldn't aim his one gun. He couldn't see them in his cloak, any of the visions. He's like, I'm screwed. So yeah, it was pretty difficult. But one of the cool things about it is, unlike other games, you can actually play privately with just a bunch of friends and can actually still level up your character. Which is unlike other games where if you play in private sessions, you can't level yourself up. And like with leveling yourself up, you get new guns, and the Predator gets new guns. And like sometimes like the Predator can get like bows, or I guess there's a boomerang that you could probably use that's pretty brutal because you could probably go around corners with it. So if you could actually hide good enough, you could probably throw it around a corner and catch the person and actually hurt them quite a bit. But anyway, the last thing, hopefully it doesn't take too long. If it does, we'll have to just, I guess, make this longer than normal. I'm supposed to ask you about something. I wrote down stuff. I don't know if I wrote down things wrong. It looks like it says something about 10 grenades, something about fate, and strawberry jam.
Huh?
Okay.
Fate.
Okay, I know fate.
Something about strawberry jam.
You and some other people were playing, and at least one of you pulled the pin on all 10 grenades and sacrificed himself?
Don't mention names, but yes. Yeah, apparently you do not remember.
Don't think that was
I wasn't even playing, and I remember.
No, don't think that was with fate.
Well, you can tell what the
because Fate, nobody really rebuilt characters when Fate was involved, so it wasn't Fate.
Well, that could be a separate instance.
I know what I understand where going this whole sacrifice thing is when we were doing a different campaign entirely. It wasn't a high-tech one. They weren't grenades. They were basically miniature suns that I had made for oddly enough the use for farming, and just you didn't want to break them. Just put it that way, you didn't want to break them. And somebody had the bright idea of using 10 of them to break and take out the main big guy. But don't think Fate was involved in that. And I have no idea where the strawberry jam came from.
That's what he was made into after he pulled all 10 pins and sacrificed himself.
That I can see. But I don't recall it being feigned.
Okay, well, we're gonna leave it there. It was supposed to be a story about something, but seeing how Jay does not remember, it really doesn't help tell the story. So, nonetheless, until next time, my horde, leave comments. We'll reply to them. You know, it's kind of our thing. If you have questions, if you want to go back to the old videos and like watch them, like comment on them, I still do check that out. At least I'm trying to check that out. I have to see if YouTube is messing me up or not. I don't think they are. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. So, like I said, until next time, my horde, comment.